Well, everybody, and welcome back to my video. Welcome back to my channel. Talking today about how to be patient when things aren't going your way. It's easy to be patient when everything's going well, but when you're not going exactly where you want to go, when things aren't going your way, that's when patience is the most important. So how do we remain patient? Number one, remember that things take time. In the Bible, it says that even though God had a promise for his people, in Jeremiah 29, it says that after 70 years, the promise would come. Sometimes you have to be in the desert for 40 years, 70 years, 100 years. Sometimes things go from worse to even worse. That's when it matters the most to be patient, to wait upon God during those 70 years. What is the thing that you're having to wait for right now? Instead of saying, "How long, O Lord?" just know that things sometimes take longer than expected. Number two is believe in the promise of God. After God told his people that they would have to go through 70 years of pain, right after that, he said, "But my promise is that I will never leave you nor forsake you." It doesn't matter how long you've been waiting for that great news. It doesn't matter how difficult things may be going right now. It doesn't matter how life maybe isn't going your way. What you need to know is that when the time comes, that is when that promise will come your way. Believe in the promise of God. That never changes. Third is make sure that you don't go back to those 70 years. You know, when we're in the middle of waiting for that future and for that great outcome and things don't go our way, it's easy to go back. Those 70 years, remember that time that was painful, those years of pain and of disappointment, they're right around the corner, aren't they? And temptation and Satan and sometimes just even our own trauma can make us go back to Egypt in a second. Suddenly, instead of you believing in God or trusting in his promises, you're going back to that addiction. You're falling to the same old habits. You're allowing anger and depression and anxiety to take over your life. When you're having to wait on the promises of God, that's the time to not go back, but to commit to continue to go forward. And then the last step, which is I think the most important step, and that is to remember that your day and your victory will come. This is the passage, Jeremiah 29:11, and this verse that everyone loves. This is where God says, "For I know the plans that I have for you, declares the Lord." There are plans for hope, there are plans for good, there are plans for a future, there are plans for a hope. God has something in store for you that is just around the corner. Remember that promise will eventually turn into gold. It will eventually be fulfilled. You know, in my life, when I was a young man, I always dreamed of having a beautiful church, a beautiful band, to write songs, to sing to God, to give him all of my talents. And every time that in church I got a chance to sing a song or to open the Bible or to mentor a young person, I feel like I am living my dream. But it took me years to get to this place. A lot of mistakes, a lot of even regrets, things where I had to wait upon God and ask for his forgiveness and to wait upon his promises. But now I'm here. In the same way, you may have to just persevere right now. You may not be there yet. Your business goals may not be there yet. Your fitness goals may not be a reality quite yet. The dreams that you have for your kids to go to college or for you to buy that first house or for your young married life to be all that you want it to be. You may not be there yet, but remember, he knows the plans he has for you. He declares that he will bring you the victory in due time. If you're a planner like me, I know that this can be difficult for us. Trust in God's plan more than in your plan. I think that if you are someone who likes to be organized, who likes to know exactly where you're going, who looks on Google to know exactly the quickest path to where you're going, patience is your Achilles heel. Wait upon God. Don't go back to your old habits. Believe the promises of God. If you're in those 70 years or 100 years or 40 years or whatever it may be, persist. Trust in the promises of God, and know most of all that in due time, those promises will become a reality. Make sure that you like, comment, subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time.